Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tesham satata yuktanam pachatam pritipurvakam tatami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. Tesham, unto them, satata yuktanam, always engaged, pachatam, in rendering devotional service, priti purvakam, in loving ecstasy, tadami, I give, buddhi yogam, real intelligence, tam, that, yena, by which, mam, unto me, upayanti, come, te, they. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Purport. In this verse, the word Buddhi Yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the second chapter, the Lord, instructing Arjuna, said that he had spoken to him of many things and that he would instruct him in the way of Buddhi Yoga. Now Buddhi Yoga is explained. Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness, that is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence and Yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is a process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this, therefore the association of devotees and the bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. When a person knows the goal of life but is addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in karma yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna but he takes pleasure in mental speculations to understand Krishna, he is acting in jnana yoga. And when he knows the goal and seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in bhakti-yoga or buddhi yoga, which is the complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization, but if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that the person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kinds of services. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him. Tesham satati yuktanam pachatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Om Agyatimrani Syakananchana Salakyam Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha. So, this is the third verse of the Chatusloki Bhagavad-Gita, 4 essential verses, beginning with number 8, 9, 10, and 11. This is the heart of the Gita, the very essence. Here Krishna gives very confidential instructions or directions how to attain him. Directly through the bhakti-yoga process. Yoga is a ladder, like staircase. Not a staircase to heaven, a staircase to Vaikuntha, to the spiritual world where there is no return. Those who attain Krishna in the Gloka, in the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, they don't return. So that's the invitation that Krishna is giving to those who are following his instructions, following in the line of Arjuna, his most dear devotee. So he gives directly an invitation, not only for Arjuna, but everyone who is ready to follow the path what Arjuna followed. Arjuna in the beginning, he was confused, he was doubtful about his duty, what to do, what not to do. So, and he was very friendly with Krishna. He saw Krishna as a friend, not as a supreme Lord. Although he knew he's the Lord, but he accepted him more in a friendly mood. But then, in his confused stage, he surrendered to Krishna and told Krishna, I'm confused, I cannot help on my own anymore. I don't know, I'm confused. So I surrender fully to you. Please tell me, accept me as your disciple. You are my guru. I'm your disciple now. Tell me what I should do. So that means prapanam. Arjuna intelligently understood, I cannot reasoning what is right, what is wrong on my own. Therefore, I have to take shelter in supreme authority, Krishna. Krishna is the supreme authority, supreme guru. There may be many gurus in this material world, but they all have to represent Krishna. They're actually Krishna. Because we cannot approach Krishna directly. Arjuna had the good fortune and also the qualification to face Krishna directly. We could not, because we have not the qualification for it. We don't have the purity for it and this close relationship. Arjuna had it. Because they are eternally related with each other. We are also eternally related with the Lord. But somehow or other, this connection is broken since time immemorial due to contact with material nature, with Maya, with illusion. So therefore we cannot understand our real position, our eternal position. We identify ourselves only with whimsical and unsteady and temporary positions, names, and activities, and duties, and relationships. But the result is they bind us more and more in this material samsara, cycle of birth and death, and we cannot come out. It's like a merry-go-round. We cannot go around. It is always going on. Therefore, the samsara is eternal. For the living entity, nitya baddha, the samsara cycle of birth and death is ups and downs and changing bodies from one body to another is eternal. As long We are using the material intelligence and following the mind and the senses who are leading us to enjoy the sense objects, smell, vision, sound, etc. And also activities in this direction. So this, as long as we follow the dictation of the mind and the senses, the intelligence is not clear. Then the intelligence in the second chapter of Bhagavad-Gita is described by Krishna as Bahushaka. Bahushaka. It's a Sanskrit word. It will be explained. Bahushaka. So maybe closer. Bahushaka. Bahushaka, it means many-branched intelligence. It means our intelligence is split in sometimes in this direction, sometimes in that direction. Actually, the function of intelligence is to analyze and to make distinction, what is right, what is wrong, what to do and what not to do. This is the function of intelligence. But if the intelligence is following the mind and the senses, the intelligence becomes confused, becomes bewildered. And becomes also very materialistic. Although the intelligence is the most subtle material element, it's higher than the mind. And higher than the mind is this subtle identification with this material body. It's called the ego, ahankara. So this element, or this subtle element, buddhi, or the intelligence, together with the ego and the mind, this is very difficult to control on our own. And the whole material, our whole material functioning is acting under this direction of the subtle body. But actually the soul, as we heard in the second chapter of the Gita, the soul is higher than the buddhi and the ego. It is actually the real ego, the soul proper. The real soul, not the body, not the mind, not the intellect. Because Atma, the soul, can also sometimes be considered the mind or the body. But Atma means the soul proper. It's that what is eternal, that what we really are. This our eternal existence. And to come to this understanding of eternal Atma, Aham Brahmasmi, that we are spiritual, that we are eternal, and that we are ultimately servants of the Lord, we need spiritual intelligence. Therefore, there are two intelligences. The material, who makes plans how to become happy and how to enjoy and manipulate the material nature, is materialistic. This is an illusion. This is Bahushaka, according to time, place, and circumstances, and our interests. And they can also change. But the buddhi, what Krishna speaks here, is the bhakti-yoga tam. It's the buddhi directed to him. It's actually the buddhi what Krishna gives. In the Bhagavatam it is stated, 11th canto. Krishna varnam tvisha krishnam sangha pangrasa parshadam yagyai sankitam prayar yachantihi sumedasa. Actually sumeda means buddhi yoga. It's the same. Because buddhi, in Sanskrit, buddhi and meda. Meda is the same, it's intelligence. But the sumedasa is buddhi yoga. So in that verse of the Bhagavatam, it is explained that in Kali Yuga, because it was on a question, what are the different avatars of the different yugas, ages, and ultimately the conclusion was that in Kali Yuga, there's no Vishnu avatar. Krishna, the Lord, is not coming directly as a Vishnu form, but he comes as devotee, as bhakta. And he's not alone, he comes with his associates. Panchatattva. Panchatattva means the 5 truths. Panchatattva Krishnam, Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam, Bhakta Avataram, Bhakta Kam, Namama Bhakta Shakti Kam. So these are the 5 tattvas. 3 of them are Vishnu Tattva, Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, and Advaita, Acharya. And 1 is Shakti Tattva, Gadadhar Pandit, and 1 is Jiva Tattva, but as a pure devotee, as a purified soul, a liberated soul. That's Srivas Thakur. He's an avatar of Narada Muni. He's incarnation of Narada Muni, Srivas, Adi, Gora Bhakta Vrinda, and all those who are following Srivas Thakur. So this, the Lord Chaitanya appeared in these 5 forms to introduce the Sankirtan Yagya, the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That's called Sankirtan Yagya. And the Sankirtan Yagya, it's recommended, especially for this age, as only alternative. Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam, kalau nasti eva, nasti eva, nasti eva, gatir anyataha. The Upanishads. Because Vedic scholars only accept Upanishads. Only Shruti, no Smriti, no Purana, nothing, no Mahabharata, no, they're not accepting. They're only accepting Shruti. Means 4 Vedas with Upanishad together. 108 Upanishads. But it is the quote of one of the Upanishads that in this age of Kali Yuga, there's only one alternative. It's repeated 3 times. Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam. That's the only alternative in this age to deliver you. And to teach the people this process of Harinam, the Lord appeared himself as a devotee to show us how to chant the holy name, how to surrender to Krishna, and how to engage in devotional service. And this is Sud, that means it's in relation with Bhagavad-Gita. Actually, Bhagavad-Gita is for devotees, it's not for non-devotees. Non-devotee cannot understand Bhagavad-Gita, they misinterpret. But Bhagavad-Gita is for devotees, but many devotees, even many people cannot understand who are not devotee, who are not connected with devotee. But Bhagavad-Gita is for devotees. And to show the people in general who are not really devotee, but who have inclination or nature to become devotee, as a soul, we have this nature, we have this qualification, but it's covered. So Lord Chaitanya came, Krishna came to show us the process of devotional service by his own example, with his devotees together. He spread the Sankirtan Yagya. So in every age there's different yagyas, different sacrifices, rituals to perform for purification and to attain liberation. And in Kali Yuga is only one sacrifice, the Sankirtan sacrifice. And those who are intelligent, Sumedasa, they will take part in this process. Sumeda means also those who are broader intelligent. That means who are more higher intelligent. Not the materialistic scholars. Materialistic scholars, they always want to find mistakes, and they only want to establish their interpretation and understanding as the truth. Tarko pratishta shruteyo vibhina. So therefore they are never in same opinion. They always have differences because they are on mental and the intellect also, who is connected with the mental platform, therefore confused. They are not come to the conclusion, dharmasa tatam nihitam guhayam mahachani yena kathasa panta. Only if one follows the mahachans, that means the great acharyas, great Mahatmas, who are taking shelter in Krishna, Mahatmanastamam Partha, Daivim Prakritim Ashrita. If we follow their example and their mood and their prescription, then our intelligence will become purified. So there's a very interesting verse in the 11th canto, also quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the first chapter, where Kaviraj Goswami describes Guru Tattva, the truth about Guru. And he is quoting the verse by Uddhava, from Bhagavad-Gita, from 11th canto, 29th chapter, text 6. Naivopayantya patitam kavayastavesha pramayusapi kritam ridha murda smaranta yontar bahistanu britam ashubam vidunan acharya chaitya vapushasva gatim vyanakti. O my Lord, Uddhava, speaking to Krishna, Uddhava, O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you. Even if they were endowed with a prolonged lifetime of Brahma, for you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Supersoul, Paramatma, or Antaryami, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. No. So we have Krishna reveals himself in this statement. You can understand, and also by Bhagavad-Gita here, that the Lord mercifully reveals himself in two forms, externally as the Acharya or spiritual master, as a devotee, and internally as the Antaryami Supersoul, who knows everything, who is the witness of every living entity, and who is our well-wisher, who is a plenary portion of the Supreme Lord in every living entity's heart. And it is that Supersoul, the Antaryami, who is revealing himself if one become purified. If we, with spiritual intelligence, can fix ourselves on him. So the yogi, the Astanga yogi, mechanically follows the process of yama niyama up to samadhi. And there's a stage called where one withdraws the senses from the external sense objects. I think it's called pratyahara. It's the 5th stage. And above the pratyahara, pratyahara is very difficult if you only attain viraga, detachment, withdrawing all our senses without any focus or any higher goal. Vairagya is viraga, is detachment. It's the same. Withdrawing the senses from the sense objects. This is vairagya. Viraga. Raga means attachment, and vairagya means detachment. That means becoming free of the sense objects, like that. So the yogi, mechanically, he tries to withdraw his senses from the sense objects by focusing on dharana. Dharana. The 6th Astanga process is dharana. That means it's still mechanical. He still is not in connection with the Lord. But with the help of intelligence, with his purified intelligence, through yoga, pranayam, yama, niyama, asana, pranayam. So he purifies his whole subtle body. That's the meaning of the yoga practice or procedure, to purify our existence, and so that he can fix his mind on the super soul. First, the super soul only in form of an idea, of a picture. So he puts a picture of the super soul in his mind. According to the description of the Shastra, super soul appears in a bluish form. He has 4 arms, he has lotus eyes, mouth, ears, very curly blackish hair. He's holding different symbols in his hands, like chakra and gada, lotus, and so on. And he's blessing the yogi, the devotee. And the Lord is glancing at the meditator with a smiling glance. He's glancing at him. So he's doing that in meditation form first, putting this picture in his mind. And this is called dhyana. With the help of intelligence, he analyzes the different bodies and parts of the form of the Lord, a super soul in the heart. We cannot see it with the material eyes, as long as the eyes are not transcendentally purified. And as long the Lord is not revealing himself, really, as he is, not as an imagination, not as a picture, but as he is. That's described, Upanishad. Verse, Katha Upanishad. Then we have a very nice verse. Nayam atma pravachanena labhya, na medhaya na bahuna shrutena. Yam evasha vrinute tena labhyas, tasyaiva atma vivrinute tanum svam. The Supreme Lord is not attained by expert explanations, speaking nicely about him or about the scriptures. He is not attained by vast intelligence, material intelligence. And also not by much hearing, shruti, hearing about it. He is attained only by one who he himself chooses. To such a person, he manifests his own form. Very, very nice, very important verse from Shruti mantra. How the Lord is not attained by material words, intelligence, and study, and by this external process of Vedic culture. He's not attained. That means this process only helps us to become purified, but ultimately we fully depend on the kripa. Kripa, mercy. The mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that He reveals Himself, like the sun. Famous example given by the sun. If you don't see sun in the darkness, in case you're born in the night, you maybe have never seen the sun, right? So if somebody speaks in the night about the sun, I cannot believe it. Sorry. So, and we can also now create a sun artificially in the night. Of course, nowadays we can produce many electrical lights, but this is nothing in comparison to sunlight. So therefore we have to wait until the sun is coming. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives a story, analogical story, of a man. He wanted to see the sun in the night. He was a foolish man. He was a little puffed up. Maybe you heard the story. So he asked somebody, can you show me the sun? And then some hypocrite, some flatterer, because he was a rich man, influential man, he came and he showed him some light. This is the sun. And then another one came and he brought many lights. And they saw that this is the sun, because everyone wanted to become recognized or maybe get some donation by pleasing the man. Show, yes, that's the sun here. But actually, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he says, nobody in this world can show you the sun as long as the sun not voluntarily by itself appears in the morning. Therefore the man, the wealthy man, he was cheated. He cheated himself and he became cheated. So in the material world we have these two. The cheater and the be cheated. We are cheaters and others come, they're flattering you and they cheat you. And in this way we come not to a proper goal and understanding of the human life. Therefore the sun has to appear on its own accord. We have to wait, we have to be patient, and it will come in the morning. It will rise every day, and will also set in the evening every day, and it will appear again. So we cannot demand the sun to appear. So that was many times Prabhupada's point. When somebody came to me, Swamiji, can you show me God? Can you show me Bhagavan? I want to see him, because you are a guru. So, because maybe the guru is like somebody who can produce ashes from his hair, or some vibhuti taking out from somewhere and producing it, materializing it. So he thought Guru is very, he has this siddhi, this power. He can produce the God that I can see him. So I want to see him. Can you show me? And then Prabhupada, he smiled at him and said, it's not cheap to see God. Now you are ready to see God, right? You want to see him, but for so many lifetimes you didn't want to see him. But now I'm coming to you and you want to see him immediately. It's not so cheap. God is here, but we have to follow his instructions first. So we have to first become disciple. First we have to surrender. And then, if God is pleased with you, then he will reveal himself to you. So it's not just some hocus pocus or some CD what Guru give you by putting the hand on your head and then you find some ecstasy, some emotions. This is very cheap, because emotions you can imitate. You can also be produced, in one way or another. But if these emotions are not changing your heart is still steel framed. It is not melting by love to Krishna, prema. As long as the heart is not steel framed, even if ecstatic symptoms are manifested in somebody, it's still steel framed heart. Bhagavatam says, still steel framed. It is still not melted, the heart. So the heart has to melt, and only when the heart is melting, then all the impurities are washed out from the heart. Therefore this stage is called unalloyed. Unalloyed. You heard about that. Unalloyed. Gold has to be unalloyed. Not mixed with other metals, with heavy metals, with silver, with bronze, with copper, with iron even. So if you go and want to find out about gold, you cannot recognize gold because it's just a lump of covered with so many dirt and other metals and of the material nature. So you have to be an expert to see. You need some sensor, or some pendulum, or some root who gives vibration. Here is gold. Then you have to purify it by the heating process. And then all these heavy metals, the heavy metals, the lower metals, they all become washed out of the gold, separated of the gold. And only the pure gold remains. And this is called unalloyed. And only when the gold becomes pure from any other metal, then it melts. Then it flows. And as long as it is not, we are not on this stage, we have to follow strictly the rules and regulations of sadhana bhakti, yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, chanting, studying scriptures, surrender to Guru, following his instructions, serving him. That's stated next verse, also Upanishad. It's from Mundaka Upanishad, a very famous verse. Tat vigyartam sagurum eva vigachet samit pani shrotriyam brahma nishtam. Here it's stated. To learn the transcendental subject matter, that means the transcendental science, one must approach a spiritual master. In doing so, he should carry fuel, that means firewood, as a brahmachari. He has to go to the forest and collect firewood for his guru, to burn in the sacrifice, because guru is every day, morning and evening, performing his yagyas, his sacrifice, sandhyas, and the brahmachari is assisting him. The symptom of such a spiritual master is that he is expert in understanding the Vedic conclusions, that means Vedic Siddhanta. That's the qualification of guru. Doesn't have to be necessarily a Paramahamsa or a Rasika, but he has to be first understand the Vedic conclusion, therefore he constantly engages in the service of the Supreme Lord. And he is steadily engaged according to these Vedic conclusions. This is only two qualifications to be a guru. Only two qualifications. He has to understand the Siddhanta of the revealed scriptures, and how we can understand Siddhanta by the revealed scripture is by hearing from his own guru. He has to be loyal to his own guru so that he can understand Siddhanta from the revealed scriptures. Because the guru, if you serve the guru, and with the faith also in attaining the Lord, and see no difference between Acharya and Krishna. Acharya and Krishna is one. It's not two. Because purpose is the same. Krishna we cannot understand, we cannot see. We cannot see super soul even. Although it's most near to us all the time, well, we cannot see. We only can see material things. But the Supreme Lord we cannot see, because he is aparaushaya. He is what is the word? Nirguna. He has no material qualification. So therefore, to understand the Lord, we have to we have to follow very faithfully the instruction of the Acharya. And the Acharya is also described in the Adi Kanda of Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Acharya is a representative of Krishna, and he reveals himself in two forms, as Shiksha Guru and Diksha. But they are actually identical. And again in two forms, externally as the liberated soul, who is engaging faithfully in devotional service according to the direction of the Shastra, following this instruction of the scriptures, and internally as the super soul. So the both aspects are there of the absolute truth of the Lord representing him. It's the Guru, Shastra, and the Lord in the heart. So, first, before we can attain Guru in the heart, the Chaita Guru in the heart, that means the Antaryami super soul, Paramatma, we have to follow instruction of Guru. Krishna, who is revealing himself through a Vaishnava, through a devotee, who is faithfully followed the instruction of his Guru and is able to steadily follow this instruction, apply it in his own life, and teach others how to do it. This is the only qualification of a Guru. And Prabhupada is also pointing out in purport in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Dami Buddhi Yogam Tam verse This Bhagavad-Gita verse is also quoted there in Adi Lila, in Guru Tattva chapter. That Dami bhakti-yoga tam, the Lord is revealing Himself and giving Himself, giving the devotee who is with love and devotion always absorbed in his devotional service according to the direction of the spiritual master. He gives him the intelligence how to come to Him. So there Krishna's Prabhupada says that there are two devotees or gurus. One is very highly elevated and on the rasa platform, and the other one is following the rules and regulations of the scriptures steadily, and is accepting disciples and teaching others how to do it. The highly elevated, practically we cannot even recognize him. We cannot even approach him. We cannot even follow his mood. Therefore we have to follow the mood of the Acharya who is coming on Madhyama level, but is actually also on the level of pure devotion, connected with absolute truth. And by this connection with the Acharya, he learns us by his own example how to serve Krishna, following the scriptures, understanding the scriptures. Therefore the Acharya is preaching, the spiritual master is preaching and teaching us on the basis of scripture, Shruti. Smriti and Purana, that means Vidhi. Therefore the process what we follow is called Vidhi Bhakti, Vaidhi Bhakti, following the rules and regulations according to the reveals given by the scriptures. And even the scriptures we cannot understand, we cannot know how to analyze it and use it in our life without that we have a spiritual master. Like if you want to become a doctor, you go to school, go to university. You have to study 6 years minimum and more to become a doctor in a certain how we say English word, certain field subject. So you have to learn from the professor. You can try it as layman to adopt it, but if you learn it from a practical person who is expert in the field, then you can learn it much faster and apply it. And you can always approach him and ask questions. Therefore we need living guru. The guru has to be alive. Guru is of course also here through our parampara, through our previous acharyas. But we also need Vaishnavas and who are acting as gurus. That they are not stamped themselves as gurus, but they are acting as guru, because everyone actually should act as guru, as a Vaishnava, because this is the direction of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya says, Prite vite achiyate nagaradigram sarvatra parchoibe hoibe moranam. Then there's another one. What is it? Yare deke tare kai Krishna upadesh amara agaya guru hana tara edesh. So wherever you go, whoever you meet, tell them about Krishna. Become guru and teach others according to your realization and knowledge, not by speculation, but by following Siddhanta, conclusion of the scriptures, teach it to others in a pure way. So that's the only request that Lord Chaitanya had. You only have to try to follow faithfully to the direction what the spiritual master has given us. And if we are doing that, we can connect with the super soul. Like the yogi, Astanga yogi also needs guru to attain, especially to come to dharana, dhyana and to samadhi. He cannot do on his own. He needs guru, otherwise he will become crazy. He will fall down, he become madman, because on that subtle platforms of dharana and dhyana, you can come so much in connection with subtle energies. You not even know, you're not even aware about it. So it's and so many cities. Sita Devi will come to you with the whole palette of cities. What looks very alluring, very interesting, because it makes you very powerful. You can read other people's minds. You can produce something from nowhere, materialize it. You can walk over the water. You can fly like a spaceman, like without a rocket, spaceship. You can go to other planets and travel through the whole universe and come back here. It's very interesting. It's very alluring. So if one becomes attracted to this kind of cities, then samadhi or connection with the real super soul, you can forget. It's finished. That means as soon you become attached to these allurements and tests in the yoga, on a certain level of yoga, you become fixed there, and you cannot make further progress. You remain there, and then you have to apply your cities in the material field somehow and make a nice business out of it. But you cannot bring the people in connection with the Supreme Truth, with Krishna, because to attain Krishna we have to become unalloyed, completely pure of any attachments, even to cities, even to liberation. Even to attain heavenly opulences, or heavenly position, a position of Indra. There's not interest. Nadanam, Nachanam, Nasundarim. Kavitam, Vachagadisha Kamae, Mama Chamani Chamanishvare, Bhavata Bhaktir, Ahaituki Dvayi. Lord Chaitanya, he showed us in his prayers, Astakam, Shikshastakam, that we should not be attached to, if I serve you, my Lord, Lord of the universe, I'm not doing that for getting nice family, wife, children, education, mystical perfections, Nadanam, Nachanam, Nasundarim, Kavita. Kavita means becoming very learned in the scriptures, becoming a pandit. Lord Chaitanya was already a pandit, but then he got the initiation by Ishvarapuri in Gaya. Normally people go to Gaya to perform Shraddha for the departed forefathers, to liberate them. But Lord Chaitanya went to Gaya. It's a place where it's Vishnupad. That means the footprint of Vishnu is placed. It's really there, big, huge footprint. And every regularly pandits or brahmanas, they worship, offering worship to the lotus print of Lord Vishnu. So Lord Chaitanya, as Nimai Pandit, he went to that place, and he with external purpose to please his forefather, his departed father, Jagannath Mishra, but his internal purpose was to meet a very ecstatic Vaishnava, Shripad Ishvarapuri, who was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And so these two persons met Guru Kripa Prasadebai. Even Lord Chaitanya, his Krishna himself, he took spiritual master. He found necessity to have spiritual master because he was a Pandit, he was scholar in Sanskrit grammar. And everyone thought, oh, the Pandit is very, very proud. He's always challenging. He was in challenging mood. And the Vaishnavas in Navadvip, they always prayed, oh, when Nimai Pandit, he's such an intelligent person, he's so learned, he's so capable to change everyone's mind and confusing them with Sanskrit grammar. So if he will become a devotee, oh, how wonderful it would be if he will become a devotee. So they all prayed. And Lord Chaitanya, one time, he met Srivas Thakur. Today is Srivas Thakur appearance day. So he met Srivas Thakur. He was a little older than Lord Chaitanya. Some like Advaita Acharya, they came before Lord Chaitanya to prepare Lord Chaitanya's mission. So Srivas Thakur, he always asked the Lord, when you will become devotee? You should become devotee. Should become Vaishnava. Don't be attached to this Vedic scholarship, to this Sanskrit gambling. It's like gambling, And then Lord Chaitanya, with folded hands, he says, my dear Pandit, by your blessing, one day, the day will come, I will show the world devotional service what nobody has seen in the three worlds. I will reveal it. Just wait a few more days. It will happen. And so the Lord went to Gaya, and he took initiation by Ishvarapuri. And his whole mood changed. Instead of learning, speaking about grammar all the time, he spoke only Krishna. Everything Krishna, 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 and everything what he saw, he was in relation with Krishna, even the scriptures, even the Sanskrit words. Later on, Jiva Goswami, he wrote a Sanskrit grammar book on the teachings of Nimai Pandit. A Sanskrit book where you can easily learn Sanskrit with every word of Sanskrit related with Krishna, with the Supreme Lord. And Lord Chaitanya, he thought, I became crazy. I'm chanting always the holy name now, and wherever I go, I see everywhere Krishna. In different moods. He was always in the mood of separation, seeing Krishna, chanting always, non-stop, all the time. So he went to the way to Navadvip. But on the way, he actually thought, I want to go to Vrindavan. He sent all his pupils, his disciples back to Navadvip, but they didn't want to separate from him. But then a voice from the sky told him, Pandit, don't go to Vrindavan, it's not the time now. Go to Navadvip. Go to Mayapur. So then Lord Chaitanya went to Mayapur, following that direction. And on the whole way, he was always completely full of emotional ecstasy. His heart completely changed of the bhava. Of the Mahabhav, of the great love he had to Krishna. By mercy of Guru and Krishna, Lord Chaitanya showed this became manifested. It's not our result, it's not my qualification. It's not a yogi. The yogi tries to, on his own to attain absorption in the Lord, ultimately, that the Lord reveals. But that's very rare. That's very, very rare. And it's mechanical. But the bhakti process, it's not mechanical, it's natural. So by the mercy of Krishna, it will become naturally revealed. As Prabhupada is pointing out in the purport, slowly, step by step, by following this process, gradually, attachment and love to Krishna will become manifest. So Lord Chaitanya was on the way and came to Mayapur, to his home place. And there he met all the devotees. And they could not recognize him anymore. Because he was completely changed. He didn't challenge anymore. He became very humble and offered respect to everyone, to every person. He never spoke any harsh words anymore. He didn't challenge anymore. He was only crying and chanting holy name and embracing everyone, hugging, embracing. and in love. He was completely melted and I could not recognize him anymore. And even the mother, Sachi Devi, she thought, oh, my son, what happened with you? So she thought he became crazy. And she consulted Ayurvedic doctor. And Ayurvedic doctor, he thought, maybe I have to give him a massage. Massage with Ayurvedic herbs, oil, again, reducing too much vata and pitta in the head. Because craziness is appearing by vata and pitta disturbance in the head. And she thought, oh, my son, he has this strange behavior because he has too much vata and pitta on the head. So she consulted Ayurvedic doctor. She consulted with Srivas Thakur. Srivas, you know a doctor who can maybe give him treatment? Srivas Thakur says, and actually mother asked him, you think my son is crazy? He became crazy. He got some magic, mystical mantra. He's not my son anymore. My darling, Sachinandana, my pleasure and only life. What do you think? So Shiva say, dear mother, this symptom that your son has, this is a very highly elevated stage of love of Godhead. I would be happy, to have such a stage. This is the real goal of life, to attain this kind of craziness, like your son. He's not at all crazy. So don't think you have to give him some material ointment and treatment on the head, some shira, how we call this? Shiradhara, some drops of oil always on the head, to calm down your vata and all your problems, to normalize your problems. So, mother became satisfied. Still there was a Lord Chaitanya, because it's Leela, Lord Chaitanya, he also approached Srivas. Srivas, what do you think about my behavior? Everyone thinks I'm crazy. You're a pandit. You're a very sober person. I never saw you acting crazily in an unnormal way. Always you were following fully proper standards of Shastra. You're ideal devotee. Very steady in your practice. And always gentleman. Vaishnava means gentleman. So what do you think about my behavior? Is this craziness? And then Srivas told the same thing like to the mother, as to the mother. And he told, my dear Lord, Prabhu, Prabhu actually, Mahaprabhu or Prabhu, Prabhu, this symptom that you have, this is the dream. I will be happy if I have this kind of symptoms. These are the symptoms described in the script. They are not even found in the Vedas. They are hidden in the Vedas. Only in very confidential scriptures we can find them. This hidden description of Mahabhav, of the symptoms of prema, to love to Krishna. These symptoms are very rarely to be seen and understood, even by the Vedas. Only you are very fortunate, Nimai Pandit, that you have this kind of ecstasy, Lord Chaitanya said, thank you very much, Srivas, you relieve me. You are my authority. You're senior, you're Pandit. You're ideal devotee. Everyone follows and accepts your authority. If you would say, I'm crazy, I would immediately drown myself in the Ganga and commit suicide. So he was so thankful, Lord Chaitanya, he was so thankful to his devotee, Srivas Pandit. As already mentioned, he's Narada Muni. So Narada Muni is the supreme authority. Srivas Pandit is Srivas Adi. He was the leader of the devotees in Mayapur, in Navadvip. And only by the request of Srivas and of Advaita Acharya, of these great devotees, and Haridas Thakur, actually Lord Chaitanya appeared to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement. And they could ultimately recognize him. They could recognize who Lord Chaitanya was, and only by the mercy and by the revelations of those great devotees, or those who are following and hearing from these great devotees, Lord Chaitanya can be understood. Otherwise, nobody can understand him. We cannot understand Lord Chaitanya's life by scholarship, by studying some analytical story and presentation of Lord Chaitanya's life and his teachings. Cannot be understood. It only will lead to confusion. So we have to learn from the authorities, from Lord Chaitanya, and empowered by Nityananda Prabhu. And this is the authority of Vrindavan Das Thakur, Chaitanya Bhagavat, and Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. These two books are the essence of the essence of Bhakti scriptures. There's no higher books than these books, about Chaitanya life, and also to understand who Krishna is and how to love and to serve Krishna. So we have to consult with these books in the line of these empowered Vaishnavas, Krishnadas Kaviraj and Vrindavan Das Thakur. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada, he gave a lot of endeavor to write, to translate, especially Chaitanya Charitamrita, because there is the whole philosophy in it, how to understand Lord Chaitanya and to become a follower of Lord Chaitanya and receive the mercy of Krishna through Lord Chaitanya. And that will be the perfection of life. Hare Krishna. So, glory to Prabhupada. Any question maybe? Yeah.
You said that Buddhi-yoga, Buddhi is intelligence and Metta is intelligence.
Metta is also intelligence.
Are they different aspects of intelligence, or are they identical?
No, anyway, Buddhi or Metta, is, as long as it is materially directed, it is material. It's material element. It's subtle energy. But if there is Sumedasa, that means a purified intelligence, but this cannot be cannot be manifest from chance. It comes by hearing from proper authority, coming in contact with Guru, with a follower of Lord Chaitanya, and learn this process given, the signs given, revealed by Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat. If you know about that and hear about that, then your ecstasy will increase. It's difficult to not change if you're reading Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat. Kaviraj Goswami, he says, if you chant Hare Krishna or worship Radha Krishna, there's offenses. Can be strong reaction of offenses, aparat. But if you chant Nitai Gauranga or worship Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda and the Panchatattva members, then there's no offense. That means Lord Chaitanya, in that most merciful form, he will not accept any offense. So he only gives mercy, the prasad, the mercy. So therefore, without even any qualification or purification processes performed to come, everyone can become uplifted, even if you are most fallen, most degraded. Lord Chaitanya if you take shelter in the association of devotees, following this process, even a little chanting the faith, with a little faith, chanting Gauranganam, Nityanandanam, then you will get it ecstatic, and you will get an appetite to also chant Hare Krishna mantra without offenses. So this intelligence, or sumedasa, or as Krishna is pointing out, bhakti-yoga, that's the same. Krishna is giving this bhakti-yoga to attain him. And this sumedasa is only attained also by mercy. It's also by mercy of Krishna and devotee. Yeah.
This is a natural lecture, and we told that to attain Krishna, we should be unalloyed. We should purify no desires. But in this Paribhasha Sutra of Bhakti-yoga, when Vaishnava
Which one?
When Vaishnavas explains this Adi, they mention that so we can have like different desires, but the desires, they shouldn't cover the main desire to attain Krishna. So how to
Jnana karma adi means jnana, karma, yoga, varnashrama. No, there's so many things, what maybe you think equal to bhakti. So this is not, because it's still it's alloyed. Alloyed means it's mixed, so many mixes of the lower metals in it. It's not pure. So only if the heart becomes purified of all the different karma, jnana, yoga, mystical yoga, Astanga yoga, Sankhya yoga, all these processes has to be free of that. This is only considered pure bhakti. What is your question now?
I made a mistake because I don't remember exactly, but there is a word like anamita means so from Bhakti Shastra when it explained that if there is no desire, so for example we want to eat. Yeah, we want to eat prasadam, but we want to eat, we have this desire. So if no desire, it's impossible to do devotional service, unalloyed devotional service. So I mean we have some desires, but the desires, they shouldn't cover.
Yes, they should be favorable.
Okay.
They should be favorable. That's right. Because we are all not on the unalloyed platform. We can speak about that, but even if you are not there, we still have to know. We have to know the goal, even if you are not there. Because if you don't, if you think the goal is just varnashram, the goal is just be happy in my life, be peaceful, shanti shanti, and be do no harm to anyone, be friendly and loving to everyone and to the nature. If you consider this is the goal, then you stick there. But then you are not a pure bhakti yogi, then you are a philanthropistic yogi. Philanthropistic yogi. Then you are Vishwanath Chakravarti, our great acharya, commentator of Gita and Bhagavatam. He says that if you are engaged in bhakti yoga, but you still have attachment to karma, then you cannot actually be considered a bhakti yogi. Then you are actually a karma mishra bhakti yogi. That means you are a bhakti with predominance of still fruitive attachments or results. And the same is also with the jnana or with yoga. You can be a bhakti yogi and, still also be attached to Ashtanga yoga. Like there's a story of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there's this little storybook, Prema Pradip. It's called Prema Pradip. It's the torchlight leading to Prema. It's in form of a story. It's a little essay of a story. And that story, one of the devotees, he was very steady in sadhana, but he thought it's very much important that I can be steady in sadhana. I have to also follow Ashtanga yoga principles by Patanjali yoga doctrine, because that will help me to become more steady. And he concluded, because I see many Vaishnavas, they have difficulty to control their mind. They're eating too much, they're collecting too much, so many are always sick and have not so much energy, so how they can serve Krishna? So therefore his conclusion was to serve Krishna better, with the full capacity of the and strength of body, we need Ashtanga yoga. So he emphasized this Ashtanga yoga to his followers, to his disciples, in relation with bhakti. This is okay, because it's in relation with bhakti, but it's not considered pure bhakti. It's a bhakti with the predominance of Ashtanga yoga. It's very nice. It's very nice. That person seemed to was a very sober person, gentleman, very steady, self-controlled, ideal. He had many followers, and many who became attracted to him. But then that person, he also had he knew some Babajis. That means some devotees who were only into Prema Bhakti, highest love to Krishna without any mixture of karma, jnana, and yoga. And then he brought his disciples also to them, and then this question came up, with the Ashtanga yoga helpful for bhakti, can be accepted, but this great authority of the pure bhakti school of Prema Bhakti, who was already on that realized on that platform. He gave example that there's no need. There's no need of any help. Bhakti is the emperor of all yoga. All yogas need bhakti, but bhakti itself doesn't need any other process of karma, jnana, and yoga. It means Ashtanga yoga is no need. One can directly go and take shelter in the pure bhakti process, even if you are not there. But you follow the pure guidance faithfully of Acharya, who is practically giving you the rope, and shows you the the ABC by his own example, how to follow that path, bhakti path, to ultimately prema. So you are not there, but you have to have the faith. One day, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, if I'm faithfully going that path, step by step, as described by my Guru and by the previous Acharyas and by the scriptures, I will make progress in that direction. And then every step, every day in your life will be a happy day. Because you understand you are always you're on the path. Doesn't matter if you're in the end, because anyway there's no end. Because as soon you think I'm on the end, that's the beginning of your going down. Then you stop. You think, so now I'm Sita, I'm perfect. So you should never think I'm perfect. As soon somebody considers himself I'm perfect, then it's for sure you're not perfect. Then so many faults and so many mistakes will sneak in. They will show you're not perfect. And therefore the highly elevated devotees who are on the highest platform of Prema Bhakti, you don't see it. They're not rubber stamped. They don't have a costume, and a stamp here, I'm Parama Bhakta, I'm Rasika. They will not tell. They will not make propaganda for that. Because they know if I will make propaganda with that, I lose everything. I will lose it. I cannot make progress. And it will be an offense. Because one should not preach Prema Bhakti to persons who are not Prema Bhaktas. So we can speak about it, but we should not present ourselves that I'm there already. And even if you are there, you should not tell it. Keep it as the top secret. Don't advertise. Don't advertise it. Otherwise, you condemn yourself. You are lost. You lose everything. No mercy then. So therefore, the Vaishnavas were completely on Prema Bhakti platform, on that ecstasy of loving devotion and love to Radha Krishna. They were extremely humble, very, very humble, they feel themselves lowly and unqualified, and always seeing the good in others and merciful. Never see, I'm great, you are all low. No, he always sees himself low and everyone else is great. That is the great devotee. And the so-called great devotee who thinks I'm great, he sees himself great and everyone low, dependent on him. But the devotee, real devotee, always understands I'm very, very hopeless, very fallen. Trinada pisanechana, Taurora pisahishnana, Manina manadena, Kirtaniya sadahari. And that's why he can always chant the holy name, constantly. Understandable? Okay. Yes?
You said that if we are in some level and speak about this level, it's about devotion. So we will lose it. But instead, but in case if we are not in that state,
Yeah.
but we get some realization, and and speak about it, does mean to also do it?
Yeah, you can. I would say you can speak about it. I would say there's so many stages of devotional service, of bhakti, of bhava and prema, and even above anartha nivritti, nishta and rati, and like that. Ashakti. You maybe can speak about it, but it is. I would say it will not stay in yourself because you don't have a realization of it. It will appear naturally with the time. You cannot produce it. Otherwise, we are empiricists. But bhakti yoga is not an empiric process. It's a process of coming down to us and elevating us.
Yes, my question is, I'm not in that level. I'm just thinking about some realization. If we just think about some realization, that means that we will.
Be careful with whom and to whom. Yeah. Because many can be jealous or envious, or maybe many will misunderstand you. They will consider you an upstart. You want to just show yourself up, that I'm already a certain level on the realization. Just be careful. Therefore, we have different persons you can speak about it, about certain things. On Madhyama platform, because you have to act on Madhyama platform, either Kanishta or Madhyama. Don't present yourself as Uttama, because even the Uttama coming down to Madhyama. So on the Madhyama you make distinction, who is elevated, who is same, who are actually your friends, who have common understanding and realization as you. With them you can exchange. As Prabhupada is pointing out in the verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita commentary of the Dhammi Buddhi Yogam Tam, in the Guru Tattva chapter, first Adhikanda, first chapter. So there he describes, how we should follow and as devotees who are associating with each other, they become like scientists, like bhakti scientists, and they're realizing certain things about that, and then with equals who have similar interests and understanding, they discuss and speak. Not with new ones, or not with those who are not interested. So therefore you have to be very careful with whom you want to exchange and share your realizations about bhakti. Because this is an internal fabrication, internal development. Externally we act as sadhaka, following rules and regulations, and we teach as the acharyas teach, like Prabhupada, ABC, on basis of Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam. This is authority. We have to speak about authority of scriptures and previous acharyas. And the rasa tattva or rasa realizations, in case you keep secret. It's inside. Like Lord Chaitanya, externally he was preaching Sankirtan, internally he expressed or relished the greatest ecstasy of love to Krishna. Prema Bhakti. It's internally. Only because of how can I explain that? As far as possible to keep it, but closed and hidden inside. But Lord Chaitanya, because he was so much epitome, I would say high point of ecstasy of this Mahabhav, above prema. So he became like a volcano. There's a volcano. Volcano is full of fire. It's not breaking out. He keeps it in the mountain, But at one point, the lava, the fire becomes so hot, it explodes. And that happened with Lord Chaitanya. And that's why we actually know and heard something about this ecstatic love, because Lord Chaitanya revealed it. But if you now try to imitate that, because it's not an imitation, it's a natural thing. For the last 12 years of Lord Chaitanya life, he was not in public anymore. You know that? He didn't make a show of his ecstasy. He was always in the Gambhira, in his 2 rooms there. Gambhira. Radha Kantamat in Puri. And he only had 2 or 3 devotees who took care for him. Very close, intimate. Therefore they decide Lord Chaitanya, only with 3.5 devotees, they understood his ecstatic mood. Nobody else. Although he had so many. He had so many followers. But only 3 or 4 were on the level to understand, to relish. As Ramananda Roy, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Shiki Mahiti, and his sister. Madhvi, I think was the name, Madhvi. Because they were all four of them were eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya from Krishna's Leela. So they could, I would say, go with this vibration of Lord Chaitanya. And therefore they always knew the proper scriptures and the proper songs to recite and to sing in front of Lord Chaitanya to either stimulate, to increase this mood and also to stimulate it, to pacify it. Both is there, how to increase it. So they understood when Lord Chaitanya was in a certain mood of union with Krishna, they knew exactly the right verses to recite and sing. And when he was overcome by pain of separation, they also knew the proper things, Then they didn't try to pacify him, with some optimistic verses. So they also followed that mood. And that's how actually the devotees could also partake of this ecstasy. By serving that person who has these symptoms, then they also could partake, they could also become connected with it. Anyway, this is it's the topic. Any other question? Yes?
To confirm that your explanation is perfect, just because I'm a little dull here, just want to confirm. You're saying that if we have a rasa realization, we don't share, unless the volcano's out.
You can share it with equals, with those who are have similar understanding and. No, the rasa experience, of your relationship with Krishna, these confidential things you should not reveal. Siddhanta you can reveal, because it's a scripture, this is vidhi. This you have to reveal. But you also have to be careful how much you reveal, to which public. Otherwise, if you speak about the public program, so much about our esoteric bhakti process, they will not grasp. They will become confused. So you speak only about the basics. And with devotees who are a little more familiar with bhakti, you can speak more about that, about the process of bhakti. Therefore, bhakti has sambandha videya prayojana. So the sambandha deity is Madan Mohan, Sanatana Goswami. As Prabhupada is pointing out, he's the Diksha Guru who is initiating us in the process of bhakti through Madan Mohan. Because Madan Mohan is all attractive. He will bring us to the faith. Through him we can develop the faith in this process. But then you have to practice, and the practice is under the guidance of Rupa Goswami and Govinda Dev. So he's Shiksha Guru. Shiksha Guru, that means Shiksha deity, who is giving you step-by-step guidance of sadhana bhakti, is Govinda Dev. He's the Lord of the senses. And he acts through the Acharya, Srila Rupa Goswami, and his followers. Narottam Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti, like that. Rupa Nugas. And then Sambandha Videya Prayojana This is the Krishna Prema. This is Gopinath, Gopinathji. So he is the deity of Prayojana. That means of ecstatic love to Krishna. That's the deity. And the Acharya is Raghunath Das Goswami and Madhu Pandit. Madhu Pandit. Because Madhu Pandit is he is the one who established the Radha Gopinath temple here in Vrindavan. The deity became revealed to him and to Paramananda Bhattacharya. They were two good friends, close friends. But Paramananda Bhattacharya was not much into worship. He was also a person like Lokanath Goswami, more into, or like others, in solitary worship or meditation. And so then he gave this the deity and service to Madhu Pandit. They're in line of Gadadhar Pandit. Madhu Pandit is in the line of Gadadhar Pandit. And so he took up this service to Radha Gopinath. And first was only Gopinath, was worshipped alone, and then by arrangement of Janavadevi, the consort of Nityananda Prabhu, she arranged for Radharani, for Gopinath.
So he has some spiritual realization or some kind of, you can say, esoteric realization. So is it okay to share it with very close friends or just keep it?
As I already told you, you can share it with the close friends, because with the close friends, automatically this is the topic. You can speak about. You can immediately see, if it sparkles, and with whom it not sparkles, they will only look strangely at you. So better you, because easily you are stamped up as Sahajya or something, whatever they like, they can put in the ether. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad